Nobody told you this before, but you outshine the sun. The type that I've been looking for. I've seen you inside my dreams. So baby, come a little closer. Know that you are the only one. I wanna see your body move. Don't be afraid. Baby, keep the lights on. Baby, keep the lights on. So can we keep the lights on? I wanna see you. This world can be an ugly place. Sometimes it brings out the worst in us. But when I see your pretty face, it all fades away. Let me climb up the mountain. Let me search through your valleys. I got my eyes wide open. Baby, don't hide. Baby, keep the lights on. Baby, keep the lights on. Can we keep the lights on? I wanna see you. Baby, keep the lights on. Baby, keep the lights on. And can we keep the lights on? I wanna see you. I wanna see your body move. Yeah. I wanna see your body move. I wanna see your body move. Oh, I gotta see your body move. So can we keep the lights on? Baby, keep the lights on. And can we keep the lights on? I wanna see you. Baby, keep the lights on. And can we keep the lights on? I wanna see you. And can we keep the lights on? I wanna see you.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Teddy, and you are listening to Night Talk. So grab a glass of wine and join me. It is just about 10:30, and I'm setting up this broadcast. Disclaimer: copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes of criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a permitted statute that might be otherwise infringing. Tonight, it's DForDanielle. Don't run now. Analyze this at Unwind with Teddy. So, what I plan to do tonight is I'm going to start by reviewing. Okay. I kind of got an idea what I'm going to do. So, I'm going to talk about registered agents again. Just a little bit. It's going to be more like an overview. And then I'm going to set the stage by recapping that Danielle Robertson has been served with a summons and complaint from the U.S. Marshals. The deadline for her response is tomorrow, October 15th. I'm going to dive into what happens next, what the consequences are if she attempts to evade the process. I'm going to review the previous complaint by just highlighting some of the legal claims that have been made against her, what it is defamation or harassment or any or another legal issue. I'm going to just touch on the importance of serving someone legally and what the complaint outlines. What happens if Danielle runs? Options: she can ignore the summons and complaint. She can respond with an answer to the complaint, or she can file a motion. All right. So, what is the strategic? I'll just say we don't know what the conclusion is going to be, but I'm asking or saying, don't run now. And the reason I say don't run now is because there's some consequences that I'm going to talk about. Mhm. Yes. And also because she said in a statement in a video, a now deleted video, that if she were ever or ever thought that she was going to be found out, that she was going to run, she was going to disappear. Okay. So we don't know just yet what's going to happen, but I can definitely revisit some of the things that we've already talked about. All right. So go ahead, hit the like. You can also email me at unwindwithteddy@gmail.com. And I'll go ahead. Let's see. I want to put this up just like that. Actually, you probably want to see the hours. I mean, it's almost midnight. So that would mark the day, not necessarily the moment, but it will mark the day when the 21 days are up and a response is due back to the court. Okay. But before I do that, let me come out and see what's on your mind. Good evening to my moderators, Baby Juju and Vicky Black. Please be respectful in the chat. Some of you might have questions, and I'm not necessarily can provide, the answers. I have to just stick with what has been filed so far and stick to the facts here. Okay. So now let's see who's in the chat. Who is deciding to follow me tonight? By the way, we are live right now on Instagram, X, Facebook, and right here on YouTube. Welcome, everyone. Good evening. Yes, Rip Runners. Don't forget to subscribe to Unwind with Teddy, RunTellThatToo, I Natasha, The Machine, and D4Danielle, Rip Runners also. Follow Unwind with Teddy on Facebook, Stationhead, Instagram, TikTok, and Discord. Good evening. We see Pam here in the Bear Cave tonight. Let me just throw you up and say hello. Pamela Borges says, hey, Teddy. And Vicky and Baby Juju, welcome back. It's good to see you. You're going to go back into the bushes, my loves. That's just fine. A lot of people, like to get comfortable and hide in the bushes. That's just fine. Good evening to Mimi Twin. I see you. And all right. Let's see if we have anyone over on Facebook or Instagram yet. Okay. We'll just say the majority of you are right here on YouTube. Okay, so let's get to this. Shall we? Let's see how we will start. Hang on, guys. I'll just quickly just show you the countdown clock, and then I want to switch back to this. All right. So an hour 23:25. Okay. Let's go back here. So, registered agents serve as the official point of contact for legal documents on behalf of businesses or individuals in the state. They receive service of process, official state notices, tax forms, and other important documents. In this case, service was made to Delaware registered agent and Danielle Robertson. She was served summons and complaint. So the role in Delaware is that in Delaware, which is known for its corporate friendly legal environment, registered agents are particularly significant. Many businesses incorporate in Delaware. I've mentioned this before. So registered agents are essential for handling their legal matters in the state. I mean, it's just that important. It's legal. When the Delaware registered agent was served by the U.S. Marshal Service, Danielle Robertson was served. It was executed on the 23rd of September. So registered agents must remain accessible. There's liability. They can be held accountable if they fail to forward legal documents to the parties they represent. In some cases, registered agents have been involved in lawsuits. That's right. When they've neglected their duties. Okay. So let me just review the complaint. See if I have it up. It was filed on August 23rd. I'm not going to put it up tonight. I'm just going to highlight some of it. So I will not be showing any of the address of the plaintiff or phone numbers, anything like that. I said I would no longer do that. But can I talk about a Delaware registered agent? Absolutely, I can. They're public. They're not private. They have an address. And so I will be talking about things that I think are pertinent. So I'm not doxing Delaware registered agent. I'm not doxing Danielle Robertson either. She says she's anonymous. Okay. And by the way, I'm familiar with having seen this address on legal documents where Danielle Robertson was serviced in Dover, Kent County, Delaware. All right. So The original complaint was filed in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Michigan. It was Kimberly Smith, the plaintiff, versus Danielle Robertson. Okay. So I will start with the amount. I don't think I read this before or talked about this part, but the amount in controversy, the amount the plaintiff claims the defendant owes or the amount at stake is more than $75,000, not counting interest and costs of the court. That was left as a statement in the document, all right, as number 3. Then the third part is the statement of claim. So, claim 1, copyright infringement and unauthorized alteration on or around August 12, 2024. Defendant Danielle Robertson, also known as Dani Montana, used and altered my copyrighted photos without my permission or authorization. The photos in question depicting 1, my content on YouTube, my being the plaintiff, and TikTok was created by me on or around May 19, 2024. Me in nightly wear, and also my creative works on YouTube videos. Defendant Danielle Robertson unlawfully manipulated my photograph by attaching my image to the body of a raccoon. Side-by-side image of me beside an owl and side-by-side a raccoon. Still shots of several of my videos and reproduced, distributed, and or displayed these altered versions on their website and YouTube channel without my consent. This unauthorized use and alteration of my photographs constitutes copyright infringement under 17 U.S.C. 501, as well as violation of my moral rights as the original creator. The unauthorized use my work has caused harm to my reputation as a YouTuber, an artist, and the use of my image in this manner has resulted in emotional distress, loss of control of the integrity of my work, and potential dilution of the value of the photograph and YouTube channel. I seek damages for the infringement, including statutory damages, as well as an injunction to prevent further unauthorized use and alterations of my photos. So that's claim 1. Let me just look at the chat because I want to make sure mic is open, and let's see if I can put that on the side so that I can follow it. Hang on just for a moment. All right, just trying to bring it over. Hang on. All right. So let's go to the second claim. Claim number 2. Let's do this. This one is invasion of privacy and defamation. On or around August 12th, 2024, the defendant, Danielle Robertson, also known as Dani Montana, willfully and maliciously invaded my privacy by publicly disclosing my personal and sensitive information without my consent. This information included my home address and details of my housing situation, all of which were posted on YouTube to her 11,000 subscribers plus by the defendant. Additionally, the defendant urged viewers to call the IRS, the Department of Agriculture, the Detroit Housing Commission, and the Inspector General on me, falsely accused me of having a felony by posting my mugshots online and publicly disclose untrue and defamatory statements regarding my criminal record. Defendant also obtained information about my traffic tickets by making unauthorized inquiries, further invading my privacy. These actions have caused significant harm to my reputation, emotional distress, and have jeopardized my safety. The public dissemination of my private information and the spread of false statements about my criminal record constitutes an egregious violation of my right to privacy and have defamed my character. I seek compensatory and punitive damages for the invasion of privacy and defamation, including but not limited to emotional distress, harm to my reputation, and the cost with safeguarding my personal information. Additionally, I request an injunction to prevent defendant from further disseminating any of my personal information or making defamatory statements about me. And then in the records are various photographs to support what is in the complaint. Okay, hang on. All right, which also include the photographs of posts created by Danielle Robertson. Those posts are depicted and pictures that were also put up. Information that there was contact to the Social Security Office of the Inspector General and so forth. So I'm just looking through these. The Detroit Housing Commission, where it was posted, letters, let's see, mugshots, profile. All right. So it continues in section 4, relief. 1, compensatory or compensation for harm to my reputation caused by the false statements regarding my criminal record. I do not have a felony. Invasion of privacy. Compensation, she's asking, for the emotional distress and potential safety risk caused by the defendant publicly sharing my home address on YouTube. Harassment, compensation for the distress caused by the defendant encouraging others to contact various government agencies, the IRS, the Detroit Housing Commission, Department of Agriculture, and the Social Security Administration based on false or misleading. 5. Certification and closing. Let me just see if I can read this. I'm reviewing it, which is basically the signature and certification under Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 11. By signing below, I certify to the best of my knowledge, information, and belief that this complaint, 1, is not being presented for an improper purpose, such as to harass, cause unnecessary delay, or needlessly increase the cost of litigation. 2, is supported by existing law or by a non-frivolous argument for extending, modifying, or reversing existing law. 3, the factual contentions have evidentiary support, or if specifically so identified, will likely have evidentiary support after a reasonable opportunity for further investigation or discovery. And that word is evidentiary. And 4, the complaint otherwise complies with the requirements of Rule 11. For parties without an attorney, I agree to provide the clerk's office with any changes to my address where case-related papers may be served. I understand that my failure to keep a current address on file with the clerk's office may result in dismissal of my case. It was dated on August 22nd of this year and signed by the plaintiff, Kimberly Smith. Let me go on. Punitive damages. I request punitive damages to penalize the defendant for the intentional and malicious nature of her actions. This is especially relevant given the extent of the false accusations and deliberate sharing of my information to incite harm against me. Injunctive relief. Hang on. Injunctive relief. I request a court order to immediately remove any posts, videos, or other content about me that includes my photos, address, or false information about me from the defendant's YouTube channel or any other platforms where they have been shared. I request that the defendant be prohibited from further sharing any private information about me or making further false statements about me. Okay. Oh, let me see. The plaintiff also includes the copyright infringement notification confirmation. I will not read through all of this right now. Okay. She also includes the title of her copyrighted work and where it is published and why it is copyright. She says, it's my original work, creativity, and my face that I did not give permission to be used or redistribute. Okay, and she has timestamps and so forth. Okay, let me go through a little bit more. It also shows where YouTube had responded and removed the video. So let me just pause right here and say, when the video was removed or videos removed by YouTube, Kimberly, the plaintiff, Kimberly Smith, could have taken the option to file it with the CCB, but instead she decided to file a lawsuit in federal court. I just wanted to say that. Okay. I'm just reading through this. It's 28 pages. So I'm, again, not going to be showing all of these photographs or any of that. The claims and the attachments are included in the claim. Okay. Before I move on to anything else, let me come out to the chat. Also, check my email real quick. Just make sure if there are any questions, statements, that I read some of them so that I don't have to get so far behind. Okay. Again, this is fair use commentary. It is. Okay. Let's go down. Yes, TikTok, you can hear the clock. So we have Soaring Eagles tonight. Sound is good. Joanne says, I'm here. All right. We have quite a few Bush babies. Lovely one is in the chat. Joanne says, the malicious intent is proven. When it's introduced into the records and the court sees it. Again, we are now exactly 1 hour away. It's 11 p.m. And yes, the countdown, the deadline that Danielle Robertson is expected to give a response. So she can respond to the complaint. She can answer the complaint. She can deny the charge, deny what's in the complaint, admit or deny, or she can file a motion to dismiss or some other motion, or she can just disappear or evade, not answer. And I did say that we would talk about what the consequences of that. So I'm going to get into that just now. Let's see. Just keep this moving right along. Okay. So I'll just say in general, Filing an answer. So what is it? Or what it is? It would be a formal written response to the complaint where the defendant either admits or denies the allegations and then also raises any defenses. So, what are the consequences? Filing an answer keeps the case active and will allow the defendant to contest the claims in court. Failure, though, to raise defenses in the answer should Danielle Robertson file an answer to the complaint. If she doesn't raise a defense in the answer, it could result in those defenses just being waived. So there's a benefit by filing an answer to the court. And it is the most common and appropriate response if the defendant intends to fight the case. So filing an answer prevents a default judgment. So let's just think about this for a moment. It's the most common. Do you think that Danielle Robertson, and I put the poll up in the chat, do you think she's going to opt? Do you think she's going to file an answer? Again, this isn't a scientific poll. It is a poll of those who are present and can answer the poll. Okay. For entertainment purposes only, for education, for criticism. Okay. So again, let's say she answers, but fails to raise the defense in the answer. That could be thrown out. But answering gives her the opportunity, if she intends to fight the case, I could have put that, well, file an answer. Do you think she intends to fight the case? Okay. 2, she could file a motion to dismiss. So what it is, instead of answering the complaint, the defendant, Danielle Robertson, may file a motion to dismiss or argue that the complaint is legally insufficient or that there are jurisdictional or procedural issues that make the case invalid. What are the consequences? If the motion is granted, the case is dismissed without the need to proceed further. If the motion is denied, however, the defendant will need to file an answer afterward. And by the way, those answers filing have to be to the plaintiff and to the court. Okay. What's the benefit of filing a motion to dismiss? Well, this is beneficial if the defendant believes that the case should not move forward due to some legal defect. It has to be legal. It can also delay proceedings while the court considers the motion. Okay. 3, do nothing. By doing nothing, that's a response, but there's a risk of default judgment. Hang on. Let's go back. So yes, do nothing. Option number 3. What it is, the defendant can choose to ignore the summons and complaint entirely, failing to respond within the 21-day deadline. So right now, the deadline is up. I mean, in less than an hour. So we don't know if she filed a response yet within that 21-day time frame. We'll know after that is up. How soon we will know is the question. So she could have responded within the 21-day window. We don't know that yet. I looked at the history documents, and I don't see any, updates to a response, any motion filed, any answer to the complaint. Did you think about that? Did I think about that? Not so far, but we don't know. What are the consequences, though? If the defendant does not respond, the court may enter a default judgment against them. And this would mean that the court will likely rule in favor of the plaintiff, and the defendant loses their chance to contest the case. A default judgment could result in financial penalties or other legal consequences. Is there a benefit by doing this option? None. This is usually a very bad choice, unless the defendant has no interest in fighting the claims and is willing to accept the consequences. Now, in this case, defendant, as far as we know, Danielle Robertson, is anonymous, I'll say, anonymous. And I bring that up because, let's say, she decides to do nothing, okay? Default judgment issue. What if she runs? What if she disappears? Okay. In the case of Danielle Robertson, what does that really mean? What could happen? Is there any potential recourse if she decides to disappear? Now, given that Robertson, the defendant, Danielle Robertson, has claimed to be part of the Delaware registered agents and might attempt to disappear, well, there are some key considerations. Some of you might want to stop me right there and say, has Danielle Robertson claimed to be part of the Delaware registered agent? Yes, she has. And there's too many receipts to demonstrate that. Plus, the Delaware registered agent has that information and knew when that summons and complaint arrived that there was Danielle Robertson tied. that they were representing Danielle Robertson, or they could have rejected it. It was executed. So Danielle Robertson, one, has claimed to be part of that, and two, Delaware registered agent is representing Danielle Robertson. Mhm. So one, let's say default judgment. If she disappears and doesn't respond by the deadline, then the court can issue a default judgment. I mentioned that. This would allow the plaintiff, Kimberly Smith, to proceed with enforcing the judgment, potentially, well, garnishment. One of the things people look at wages, any property liens, or other methods. So I'm just saying in general. All right. There could be enforcement and collection. So if she runs or hides, it could complicate the process of enforcing any judgment, but there are still legal remedies. A judgment can be enforced in various states or even intentionally, depending on where she goes. Now, let's just stop for a moment. Danielle Robertson has a YouTube channel, multiple channels on this platform. Okay. Somebody is connected to AdSense because Google takes a certain percentage and pays out someone each month on the 21st of the month. And Danielle Robertson has multiple YouTube channels that she has, in a more recent post directed at me, said, I have so many monetized channels. So they are her channels. She says, I have monetized, like I'm getting paid. I have monetized channels. I do this or that. That's right, Danielle. You don't remember saying those things? Yes, you did. Also, Danielle said, I don't have any connection to YouTube channels. I don't have this or that. So which is it? Which is it, Danielle? Because there are receipts out there that the I is you. Okay. Somebody legally. So the recourse could be let's get back to this. Okay, hang on. Let me just. Once, if this is the case, if a default judgment is entered, okay, so we still don't know yet. The deadline isn't up. She could file at the last minute, and we also know, we being me, and there are others, know that Danielle will do things right at the stroke of midnight. You don't believe me? Yes, she does. She will wait just to the end. Mhm. And then something comes in right before the deadline. Now, we won't know that until, after the deadline. But she still has time. Right now, on the clock, it's 11:17. 43 minutes that she could enter a response, an answer, or she could file a motion. Yeah. Because if she's going to run, well, that would be like by default if the others aren't done. It would just be, um, yeah, that's what would be a no response. Okay. If by the deadline, no option has been taken, answer or file motion. So back to this default judgment, should that occur? All right. What are other legal remedies? So a judgment can then be enforced, as I mentioned, in various states, or once the judgment is obtained, there can be a writ of execution or a garnishment, or if Danielle Robertson has quote unquote assets, property, bank accounts, an account where monies are being deposited, because remember, she has she's she has she has assets, though she says her name isn't on anything. Danielle Robertson has been on YouTube since 2021. People during her broadcast are super chatting her, cash apping her, and there are accounts tied to those. You mean to tell me all this time for Danielle's time spent on YouTube, that all of these dedicated, revengers and people that want to get the money into Danielle's purse are really giving it to someone else? Do you believe that? Okay, so back to this property, bank accounts. There can be a writ of execution, could be issued to seize those assets. So there is legal recourse that can take place. There are some options. Plus, there's further legal action. Listen carefully. If Danielle Robertson is part of this Delaware registered agent system or associated with a legal entity there, the plaintiff could pursue further legal actions to hold any associated entity responsible or uncover more information about her whereabouts, even if she runs. So it's really a bad decision to just ignore. But that's the risk that she takes. right? She says she'll never be caught, she'll never be found. And if she does think that that's going to happen, she's going to disappear. But there is legal recourse, because now if she stays on YouTube, she can be pursued. Now the plaintiff will have a legal document to subpoena information to get that information. Trust me, it's difficult just to go to YouTube and say, I want information on this account or that YouTuber's account, or they've been doing this and that. What speaks volume is a judgment. Yeah, signed in a federal court. Because YouTube says they want to follow, everything legal. That's why when something is filed, they take it down. So if they are following things on the front end, then why wouldn't they follow things on the back end? So there still can be uncovering, unearthing to get to the bottom of it, to peel the layers. Peel the layers back. So if, again, we don't know yet, if the defendant fails to respond, that most likely will result in a default judgment. But if she tries to run, there are still legal pathways to enforce that judgment. The court system has tools to deal with uncooperative defendants. Yeah. And so that would be a matter at that point. You see, we don't know just yet, really what's going to happen in this case. We don't know. I'm not sitting here saying that I know how the outcome is going to be. No, I don't. I'm just discussing the facts and the consequences and what could happen, during this legal process. So I would say it would certainly be at that point important to discuss it, with an attorney or someone to ensure that all legal options are explored if she tries to evade the process. Yeah. A lovely one says, and I'm starting right here in the middle, says, all of this for YouTube. Really? Yeah. Give me a second. Let me refill. I have totally run out. I'm going to get a tall glass of water. I will be right back. Let me put on some music just for a moment. And then I'll come back, read your comments, check my email, and talk a little bit more. And then we'll wrap things up. It's exactly an hour into the broadcast.
Caught in every moment. I see the sun on your face. Hopeful eyes keep them glowing. Yeah, I love you more than words could say. There's nothing trying to find your way again. I'm seeing your tears, I'm hearing your cries, but know that I'll never leave your side, even in the change. I won't walk away. Promise I'll stay. Yeah, promise I'll stay. If you could see what I see, the lonely nights overcome, you'd be proud, yeah, believe me. You'd be proud. As a child, you've already won. Yeah, there's nothing you could do to keep my heart from you. Just keep your head up high. Hold your head up high. I know sometimes there are things you don't understand. Broken roads, faded dreams. I'm trying to find your way again. I'm seeing your tears, I'm hearing your cries, but know that I'll never leave your side, even in the change. I won't walk away. No, promise I'll stay. Promise I'll stay. Yeah. I'll never leave, you know. I'll never leave, you know that I'll never leave your side. I'll never leave, you know. I'll never leave, you know that I'll never leave your side. No, I'll never leave, you know that I'll never leave, I'll never leave your side. I'll never leave, you know that I'll never leave, you know, I'll never leave your side. I know sometimes there are things you don't understand. Broken roads, faded dreams. We're trying to find your way again. I'm seeing your tears, I'm hearing your cries, but know that I'll never leave your side. Even in the change, they might walk away, but I promise I'll stay.
All right, I am back. Got my Gatorade. And while I was gone, I was thinking about a number of things just in that small span of time. I was, but let me just read your comments because then I'll just, start going on and on and on. Thank you. Vicky Black says, take your time. Take your time, Teddy. Okay. So I am. Joanne says she's a low budget LLC that's not really making any serious money. Yeah. I don't know what a person is making. But isn't it getting to the crux of the matter? Is peeling back the layers as well. Yeah. She ain't paying no taxes. Fact, I don't know. But she's anon. And I know one of the ways to remain anonymous that she would want to is to avoid her name being on documents that the government would be able to, put like her right there. Mhm. Although she says she's anonymous, and so, yeah, I don't know. There is a digital footprint. There is. Yeah, I was just reading about an anon just earlier, just to do a little homework. Um, they were able to capture this Hector Xavier Monsuger. He was known as Saba. He was unmasked through a combination of digital tracing and targeted FBI investigation. Mhm. And one of the things that the authorities did to uncover his identity, and surely if he could be uncovered, and he's one of these anons, he made operational mistakes. Although he was highly skilled hacker, he made a critical mistake when he logged into an IRC or Internet Relay Chat server without masking his real IP address. It only happened once, but it was enough for the FBI to trace his location to an apartment complex in New York City. Then the FBI initiated surveillance on him. Yeah, the FBI, they take their time. Surveilling and then infiltration. Mhm. They were able to confirm his identity and his movements. And then once they identified, he was arrested secretly by the FBI. That happened in June of 2011. So there are cases where all of these highly sophisticated people say, I'll never be found. He was one of them who said he would never be found. No. So when they arrested him, he decided that he would cooperate with authorities instead of fighting the charges. He quickly agreed to cooperate. And by doing so, he turned into an informant for the FBI, helping them to monitor other members of this LASEC and Anonymous for several months. Well, his cooperation led to the arrest of several prominent hackers and others. It was publicized, and Sabu's unmasking and eventual cooperation with the FBI were made public in March of 2012. And it caused widespread shock and anger within the hacker community. So then his capture and his role as an informant, it would just underscore the vulnerability of even the most skilled anons, hackers, when faced with persistent and methodical law enforcement efforts. So peeling back the layers, and Danielle Robertson has said in her own voice, it would take peeling back the layers, interviewing, researching before she would be found. One step at a time. 23 minutes until the deadline. That's what the deadline is. She has 21 days to respond with an answer or emotion. And if she doesn't do it by midnight, then it's considered a runaway or a non-response and or evading, you know. Yes, the clock doesn't start after midnight. It's up. That's why it's a countdown. It's a countdown to midnight. And so we'll find out eventually what her behavior is going to be. Is she going to, select the, door number 3? Is she going to not respond at all? Or is she going to fight this? What would be the consequences of her fighting, though? Think about this. This is an anonymous, I'll never be found anon. So if a response comes in like an answer, what do you think that will mean? You think that will connect some dots? You think she would lie to the court? Do you think she would secure a lawyer? Let's not just stay on option number 3. Let's go to number 1. Do you think she'd get a lawyer? And she would answer the questions, the complaint, or she would just deny it or accept it? But she has to answer each and every one of those items on the complaint. If she's going to answer the response, you have to, if she denies, but you got to deny with answers. Or that could be, judgment too. The judge could look at it and say, well, there's nothing here. There's no defense. It could still, be ruled default like it's so. And we know Danielle Robertson. I do. Her pattern for answering is a dissertation. Mm-hmm. So I wonder, will she write a dissertation in an answer? Should she answer to each and every one of the complaint items? Mm-hmm. Will she explain, any of the allegations, the malicious treatment? Will, again, this is the allegation. How will she respond? If she responds. So will she answer? Now, think about it. If she hasn't composed all of that, and it's 19 minutes, I don't think she's going to do it. So she would have been working on it, right? And push the button so that it gets into however it gets delivered. Here's the thing. That response has to go not just to the court, but it has to go to the plaintiff. I don't know. Has the plaintiff received any answer to her complaint from Danielle Robertson? That would almost be like kind of like like a partial answer. because it has to be, not just to the court. I'm talking about option number one. So maybe there is an option number two, file this motion with the court. If she's going to respond, like that. That's probable. That's as probable too. Yeah. But remember, when you file a motion, let's go back to that for a moment. Let's see. Let's see what happens. So again, the benefit is, to delay her, but instead of answering the complaint, Danielle Robertson could file this motion to dismiss and make an argument that the complaint is, insufficient. So the judge would have to, rule on that. So that's a possibility that we don't know. Right now, we just don't know what we don't know. Right. But I can talk about what it is. I can talk about what the consequences might be. The ramifications. So if the motion is granted, the case is dismissed. If the motion is denied, the defendant will need to file an answer after. So you don't get to run. You get to file an answer. Yeah, if it's denied. But the benefit is, a delay, possibly. So 15 minutes. Should I just go ahead and count it all the way down to midnight? Might as well, right? All right. She had no legal ammunition to fight against Kimmy, says Joanne. Lovely one. Let me go through these quickly. Teddy, remember, Danielle doesn't have to follow the same rules as everybody else because she's special. Yes, there is that exception. Yes, just for her. Jinx says she will try to waste court time, some sort of delay. Joanne says, yes, Teddy, count it down. Yeah. So if we're going to count it down, then let's throw up the clocks and hang on. Let's watch the clock, not just the TikTok. Oh, there you go. What is she going to do? Let me continue to read your comments. I kind of like my TikTok there. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, she has already strategized. She's already going to say, I'm 3 and 4 steps ahead. Yes, you can subscribe to Run Tell That Too. Let's get it to 1,000. We can do that. Joanne says, delay. Are you serious? She has to send a legal reply, not in a fictitious name. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see if she's going to respond. That's, yes. Let's see. Because, well, not responding just kind of underscores, further why she wants to, get away. uh, yeah, there must be something she's hiding. It must be something so important. Maybe other people that might get revealed. Maybe, maybe this is all just all these people that she talks about. Maybe that's just her. Joanne says, no fake legal documents. No, not at this level in a federal court. If you lie, if she responds and it's found to be a lie, a fake, a fraud that can be backed up with intent and receipts, oh, yes. Mhm. Who's going to take the fall? Who's going to fall on their sword for Danielle? Who's going to fall? Because one, she's going to be on YouTube, right? She's going to be able to be reached, to be touched through YouTube. Some way, somehow. Subpoena. You see, getting a subpoena for records, as I explained, without all of these other. But if Kimmy gets a legal document in hand, signed by the judge, a federal judge, that's going to cause YouTube to kind of sit up and take note. Yeah, Kimmy will be able to lean in on that a little bit more. Mhm. Kicking and screaming. Kicking and screaming. But we don't know yet. We don't know if it's going to be dismissed. We just don't know that, right? We don't know how she's going to respond. We just know it's 9 minutes or 8 minutes and 35 seconds that she has left to respond, with an answer or emotion. See, she doesn't have to do anything for option number 3. She just has to not do option 1 or 2 by the deadline. So that's all we're waiting for now. Mhm. The clock is ticking down. I wonder, do you think? Let me look at the, I didn't look at the poll. Let's see. Oh, all right. So a little different here. How do you think Danielle is going to respond to the complaint served on her by U.S. Marshals? 12% say or respond to the summons and complaint. 12% of you believe that. 56% of you believe she is going to file a motion to dismiss while 33% of you think that she's going to run the risk of default judgment. My initial thought, if you want to know where I fall in these, I don't think she's going to respond to the summons and complaint. I thought about her filing a motion to dismiss, but if she does that, she would have to complete those forms with illegal information. Now, Danielle is known to lie on legal documents like it's nothing. Will she do that to a federal court, to a judge? Will she do that? If I didn't think that she, if I thought, let me try it that way. If I thought that she was going to put the legal information and not put fraudulent information into the judge, I would weigh it more and say, I think she'll file a motion. But that one's kind of tugging at me. That's the one I want to choose. But if she does, I think it's going to be fraud, her response. So I'll put that as a caveat. I don't know. Yeah, I think if she files a motion to dismiss, there's going to be something fraudulent about her response in the document. There's going to be something alias, something that can, again, her aim is to win. Winning for her is not being unmasked. No, and not being found. No, that's winning. That's really what she's trying to avoid, allegedly. Oh, let's see. And I think based on her history, based on everything that she has said, that she will take that risk, that she will falsify information. I think she is quite capable of doing that. I think she's quite capable of even creating a fake attorney to buy herself time. I don't put any trust in Danielle Robertson whatsoever. None. I don't think it really matters to her whether it's a federal court or not. I'm just saying if she responds in that way, I think she's going to try to figure out a way to cover it up. If she responds with a motion. Yeah. I don't think the forms are going to be completed with legal information. I don't trust her at all. But again, it's just, this is my opinion. I don't know. I said it's not scientific. And I'm just giving you my thoughts. That's all it is, my thoughts. Yeah. Jinx says, and welcome. Jinx says, I think she is just foolish enough to do that. I think so too. I think she will lie to win. It doesn't matter. I think she will lie. Absolutely. Mhm. But I think she's going to get caught in the lie. I think if she lies, I think this time she's going to get caught in the lie. I think if she has already, we got 2 more minutes. Where's that Big Ben clock? Let it count down. 1 minute. Let's take all this off here. Just let it count down. Nine, 7, 5, 3, 1. Done. The deadline is up, so she could not file now. She would have had to respond. 1, 2, 1 or 2. If she didn't do either, she ran. So we'll find out. Now, we could rule we could rule number 1 out if we knew, right? Because she is supposed to, if she gives an answer to the court, she also has to answer to the plaintiff. And if Kimberly Smith did not receive a response by the deadline, then she opted out of that one. Yeah. So I don't know. I wonder, you know what? I wonder if she has to, if she chose number 2 to file a motion, if she would have had to also send that to Miss Smith. Let's see. Let me see if I can ask that as a question somewhere. Google. Oh, okay. Let's see how this answer is coming up. So let's stop the clock. Let's stop the countdown. It has run out, but I did ask a question. Let's see what the response is. What do you think? What do you think? So, from what I'm reading, if the plaintiff decides, let's see, or the defendant, let's see, how are they breaking this down? Wait a minute. See if we can get a better question. See if I can pull up anything. See if I can pull up anything. Oh, so the answer is yes. If the defendant files a motion, they are required to respond not only to the court, but also to the plaintiff. So, how does that happen? So, file a motion with the court, the defendant would submit the motion to the court. This could be a request, again, for dismissal or to extend deadlines or some type of other type of motion, I should say. Or they can serve the plaintiff, and I think they're supposed to do that. Serve the plaintiff after filing. The defendant must serve the plaintiff with a copy of the motion. This ensures that the plaintiff is aware of the motion and has a chance to respond. By a proof of service, the defendant must file proof with the court that the plaintiff was served, that this is often required to confirm that all parties were properly notified of any legal filings. Failure to properly notify the plaintiff could result in the motion being delayed or rejected. So the first person who's going to know is the plaintiff. She's going to know number one and number two. So back to this, do I think if she filed anything, answered anything, that it's going to be either complete or truthful? There's probably going to be something in it that's not going to be above board, but I don't know. I don't know. So all these big cash apps, they can be traced. They can be traced. They can be traced. FDIC, it can be traced. Federal regulated banks, it can be traced. If they can get these big crooks, they can certainly get the little ones. I didn't call you a crook. Nixon said he was a crook. No, he said, I'm not a crook. Is that what Nixon said? Joanne said, if we're here, if I were her, I'd cop a plea. She will not file a false motion. So you don't think so? That will only make it worse. The more she prolongs, the harsher the punishment. She'd be foolish to do that. I didn't say a false motion, the part where she would, file and ask for it to be dismissed. But what are the ramifications? If her attorney, if she has one, or a pseudo attorney, or if she represents herself, would she have to complete that information? Is she going to put down that her real legal name is Danielle Robertson? It's kind of like a quagmire here, because who's going to respond? Is it going to be Danielle Robertson? It was served to Danielle Robertson. It was. That's right, it was. And the Delaware agent knows when Danielle Robertson opened that file. Time-stamped. It's a legal document. It's tracked. It's important. They can get in trouble. So they made sure it was delivered to Danielle Robertson. Danielle Robertson received it. How many times do I have to say it? That's right. Ben signed it. And Danielle Robertson was notified. Now, she could play mute. She could run and not have to face, because if she responds, then we know it was her, right? Yeah, that she received it, confirmed, right? So it's kind of like a quagmire. You want to stay anonymous, Danielle? Or you want to run? You're going to put your shoes on tonight? Running shoes? Are your running shoes laced up? Or did you respond? See, we don't know yet. We don't know. We know she's mad. Because it's all, her actions speak volumes. Yeah. But that's not what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about the deadline has been reached. Now it's in a different phase. Danielle Robertson either did 1, 2, or 3. 1 and 2, the plaintiff should be served notice so that she can respond. So she is supposed to be notified. And if she chose number 3, then it could be default and try to, execute or get, some type of something, right? But we don't know yet. So right now, the majority of you think she did file a motion. We'll see. We'll find out. I think if she did, it's something about it is just not going to be. I don't trust her at all. No, anonymous, something made up, something so clever. Maybe there's an attorney in the family. Wink, wink. You mean there could be an attorney in the family? In that deep dive of a family? Oh, you didn't think that. Remember, somebody said, remember what somebody said in response to a takedown about the family. Y'all don't remember that. Oh, they have people here. They've got people there. They've got people near the White House. They've got celebrities. They've got business owners. They've got people here. You don't think they might not have an insurance like an attorney? Oh, but that would have to be their family, right? So I wonder if they get if she has a real attorney, she certainly could get one, right? And do you think an attorney is going to put their, you see where I'm going here, going to put their license on the line for Danielle Robertson to lie to a federal judge, to a federal court, to respond and lie, to be disbarred, to risk that? That's why a response would be great. You've been checked. You've been checked. Bring out the checkered flag. Well, maybe there's some more laps. There's a lot more in this race, in this fight, because we don't know yet. I do know Danielle Robertson has been checked by the U.S. Marshal Service. And right now, it's her move, or if she didn't move, somebody else is going to move. So we'll just wait. Because she always wins. So let's see if how she's going to win. Let's just watch and wait. It's 12:15. Let me check my email. And yeah, it's late. But we counted it down. Okay. And people are still hanging out in the bushes. Joanne says, yes, no attorney would risk their profession over this. Next, Joanne thinks she'll change her super chat and Cash App. She was pouting over the fact that DForDanielle has a Cash App called Messy Dani with $10 in it. They could subpoena that one. Go right ahead. The reason I say it like that, she says, it's mine. That's mine. That belongs to me. Okay. Well, to volunteer. Yeah. Yeah. Add that one. Please add that one. You'll get me in there any way you can. She's mad. It's messy. Dani, that's what it is. And you're mad. Well, you have truth teller. So let the courts know about that one. Oh, I forgot. She said nothing. Her name isn't on anything. So that means she's what? She hasn't been paid at all for the 3 years, for the big takedown of Nosy Whole Life. That was a big collection. She bragged. Nosy Whole Life lost 35,000. You mean you didn't get 1% of the loss? Did you even get $3,500? Like a bonus from this, whoever owns that account, for your hard work and taking down Nosy Whole Life. You know where I'm going. Danielle, if you think for a moment she isn't getting that money, y'all please go and carve a pumpkin. I mean, it is October. Yes. If you believe in fairy tales and La La Land and all of that, no, ma'am, no way. That cash has gotten into her account some way, even if it was what? What do you call it? Money laundering? I didn't say it was. But even if the money was washed and bleached, it got to Danielle Robertson. I would bet on that. Yeah, and that's the beauty of the digital footprint. Even if it were in cash, Danielle. Because somebody, you see how YouTube or Google does it? Mhm. It has to be deposited into an account with a name on it, with a face on it, with a tax ID number to it, whether it's a corporation or personal LLC, doesn't matter, sole proprietor, so that they can track it, so that they don't get in trouble. So, YouTube, Google, who paid AdSense to Danielle's account, did not send her cash. It was deposited into an account and somebody withdrew it, even if a third party payer had to withdraw the money. It got there. Even if it takes time to find out how. But we don't know yet. Maybe she answered. I don't know. Maybe, let's not jump the gun, like at the starting gate when, before the race, like some people, the runners, they thought they heard the poof, and they, leaped out there before. And then they had to reset everything. Let's not, we don't know. But we do know the deadline is passed. Yes, she's been awfully quiet. Yeah. Alan Dershowitz. Who knows? Like I said, there's probably some lawyers in her family. Yeah. Because I think I have the right family. Oh, yes, I do. Let's see. Jing says, why not, Teddy? They have celebrities and athletes, and yes. And they've been here since the 1700s. Is somebody connected to that family? Whether it's a friend, very, 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 very close, a relative, a cousin. We haven't heard from Danielle Elizabeth yet. We haven't heard from the family yet. You know, is it somebody? Somebody's connected to that Delaware registered agent. That's Danielle Robertson. Oh, she's going to say, well, that's not my name. Okay, all right. You put Danielle Robertson. And you also made a video and you said, if anybody else is found out, they're going to lie for you. They're going to cover up for you. I'm so glad I have those receipts. In your own voice, it shows your intent to get away with it. You said they were going to cover up for you. So I just wonder, who are these people who would cover up? What else are they hiding? Oh, but we haven't got to that part yet. We don't even know. I'm just telling part of the story that, she wants to extinguish. I wonder who else is connected to Danielle Robertson. Let's see. Jinx says, right, I wouldn't risk my legal career to save her YouTube identity. But she said that they would. Oh, I didn't know if it's a lawyer, but she said somebody else is going to cover for her. They're going to deny knowing her, deny that she exists. Just deny. Just make it, just lie. And that's why it's legal. Who's going to fill out the paperwork? Are they going to be truthful? Or are they going to run? You see, this is kind of a catch-22. All of the things that she has said leading up to this and the things that she so proudly boasts. She forgot that she said some of these things. And I certainly have all the recordings. I do. No, I don't hide that I don't have them. I want her to know I have them. So maybe she'll, think back to what she said. Yeah, because I have the important ones, Danielle. So think back to the time, Danielle, in December of, was that 2022? When you made a video and you were talking to Cups of Conversation. And you were talking to Tales from the Cult. And you were explaining, and you were saying the bird brains, how they couldn't find you, and you were just boasting and bragging. And you were just talking. I don't know what got into you that video, but you were just saying a lot of things. And you were talking about family. Oh, I'm trying to jar your memory. Yes, you were talking about family. Yeah. You sure were. And then one of the things you said, oops, like maybe you didn't mean to say something. I don't know. like a hint, a breadcrumb or something, a little something, something. Yeah. Because your family is, what are they going to cover for you? Oh, thank Danielle. That's why you're mad. So, yes, she said they will cover for her, whoever these people are, on the Google account. They're going to deny. But in this video, she said she would be able to persuade. She said if she came before a judge, she would be able to even convince the judge that she was right in doing the things that she's done to people. Can you believe that? She said she can persuade anyone, even the judge. And I often wondered about that one. That's why I want to see it go the distance. I want to see her skills, in lying. Because that's really what it is. Persuasion, the art of persuasion is the way she put it. I guess she learned that very young, right? Who does that remind you of? Okay, it's 12:30, and that's it for me tonight. We've been on exactly 2 hours and 4 minutes. Yeah, it's time to say goodnight. Biggest bear hugs go out to all the Grizzlies. Please hit the like on your way out. You can email me at unwindwithteddy@gmail.com. Only receipts, nothing more. Now I do have an opinion, and I stated what it is. What is our final poll looking like? Let's see. All right. 12% of you say respond to the summon complaint. 53% of you say file a motion to dismiss. And 35% of you said she's going to run and risk default judgment. Well, time's up. We're into a different phase. We will look for updates and find out. We will learn sooner or later with 51 votes. Thanks for all of you for listening, watching. Right at the last minute at 12:30. No, it's 12:31. So at 12, what's this? 29. Let's see. No, I don't. I really don't think anybody would be foolish enough to sacrifice their own self for her. Who is she? Okay, we're good. It's time to say goodnight. Yeah. Keep your bear phones on. I plan to come back in the morning sometime. I'm not sure. Sometime for Messy Mocha. But that'll do it for me. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Good night.
Yeah, yeah. insane. You're making me see, yeah. I want you to scream, yeah. I like that melanin. You make me go na 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 na. She got that melanin. La 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 la. Umaro, merito, merito. Umaro, merito, merito. Melano, umaro, merito, merito. Umaro. First time I laid eyes upon you, big smile in my eyes, I caught you. There's a pile, let me put gloves on you. You know, I swear I adore you, and now I make you my wife. Put that love on me. I like that melanin. You got that melanin. Merito, merito. Merito, merito. Merito, merito. Merito, yeah. Umano, merito, merito. Umano, merito, merito. Melano, umano, merito, merito. Umano,